被炸死，也不愿意被穷死。
They'd rather be bombed to death than die of poverty. They'll fight tooth and nail to make sure their family lives a better life. It's understandable. Not afraid of death, but they are afraid of poverty. They just don't want to go back to that kind of impoverished life. Who caused this? After being attacked by the US-Israel coalition, Iran repeatedly retaliated against Israel, causing a loss of life and property damage. On March 25th, the Chinese embassy in Israel announced an evacuation of its citizens, urging them to return home or relocate as soon as possible. It's reported that there are approximately 50 to 60,000 Chinese workers in Israel's construction industry. Due to the high wages there, most workers are unwilling to leave. They said, "We'd rather be bombed to death than die in poverty. We want freedom and to live with dignity." I'm working here. Everything is normal. If there's an air raid siren, I'll take cover. I'm used to it. I hope everyone doesn't worry too much. Some people have asked me if I'll go back. I told everyone I will go home to visit relatives, but not at this time, you know? Living isn't just about having enough to eat. In a dormitory, a man asked his co-workers if they wanted to return home for the evacuation the next day. Everyone said no.
Hello.
Hello everyone, we'd rather be bombed to death here than die of poverty. Seriously, nobody wants to go back. What's the point of going back? According to overseas media reports, construction workers say they work 12 hours a day on Israeli construction sites, earning anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and Israeli employers never delay wages. Due to the large number of applicants, a lottery is required, or some people would like to pay additional agency fees ranging from $7,000 to $20,000. A construction worker said, "I spent $13,000 to come here. A carpenter earns $260 a day, $6,600 a month. I won't go home until I earn $300,000. I was injured recently and had surgery. The hospital is very good. They arranged a Chinese translator for me, and the doctors are very nice." A woman whose husband works in Israel said, "My husband is in his 40s. He has a heavy burden at this age, with elderly parents and young children to support. He's a steel worker and has been working on construction sites in Israel for over 2 years. There are explosions there every day. We, family members, are very worried and video call him every day." A Chinese worker originally in the renovation industry came to Israel to lay tiles to support his family after losing his job. He earns $10,000 a month and hopes to stay for a few more years. He revealed, "I earn $440 a day laying tiles. In 5 years, that's $300,000. Back home, that's barely enough to make ends meet. I have a child and parents to support. The pressure is immense. If I work here for 7, 8, or 10 years, I can earn back my retirement savings." Some netizens commented, "Chinese people living abroad are better off than staying in China. In recent years, China's economy has slowed, foreign investment has withdrawn, businesses shut down one by one, and unemployment keeps on increasing." In June 2025, a Chinese blogger visited first-tier cities like Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Shanghai, finding that under overpasses, subway entrances, and squares have become temporary shelters for the homeless. The vast majority of these homeless people were not beggars or drunkards, but rather white-collar workers or migrant workers struggling due to company relocation or layoffs. This situation is particularly prevalent in Shenzhen. The area outside Luohu Square is filled with homeless migrant workers sleeping, and people can be seen sleeping on cardboard sheets under pedestrian overpasses, at subway entrances, and in the back alleys of the office buildings in the Futian Central Business District. In recent years, many factories in Shenzhen have begun to reduce production capacity, resulting in a significant decrease in the demand for labor. For many job seekers, finding work has become noticeably more difficult. As their savings gradually run out, some are forced to sleep on the streets, under bridges, or on park benches, making life increasingly difficult. A similar situation exists in Shanghai, where 24-hour McDonald's have become temporary shelters for the homeless. Employees usually do not drive them away, tacitly allowing them to sleep in the store. In Beijing, the main places where homeless people sleep are train station squares, and underpasses and overpasses. Unlike Guangzhou and Shenzhen, the identities of Beijing's homeless are more diverse, including unemployed white-collar workers, migrant workers, job seekers, petitioners from other places, and bankrupt vendors. In addition, many people live in internet cafes or in vehicles. Some rely on odd jobs for temporary shelter, forming a marginalized group in cities. In September 2025, Caixin.com, a Chinese news website, published a report stating that Chen Ronghui, deputy director of the National Bureau of Data Science, organized 34 provincial-level survey agencies nationwide to conduct a comprehensive survey of the homeless population. Internal data showed that as the end of August last year, there were approximately 47.5 million homeless people nationwide, more than 5 times the number in 2020. Among them, those under 33 years old accounted for 61%, indicating that China's homeless population is becoming increasingly younger. On the streets of Guangzhou, many people are sleeping on the roadside. If it weren't for the pressure of life, who would want to sleep on the streets? Money in big cities isn't easy to earn. Here's another one.
大家都去哪儿了？
Where has everyone gone? The streets are empty, the shops are deserted. Did they all get lost? Business this year always makes me wonder if my shop is on a deserted island.
在深圳失业5个月没有工作。
I was unemployed in Shenzhen for 5 months. How did I support myself? I'll share my experience with you today. My first source of income was daily wage work. When I was unemployed and under financial pressure, I would directly look for daily wage jobs offline. Restaurants and bakeries downstairs in office buildings usually have part-time or daily wage jobs, and you get paid after each job, which is very reliable. Of course, you can also look online, but be careful of jobs that ask you to pay up front. They're usually scams. Business in physical stores is harder than you can imagine. Not a single person came in over the weekend. The boutique across the street is also having a clearance sale. It's closing down in about 10 days. The owner said business is simply unsustainable. Young people come in, only look at the styles, then immediately go online to compare prices, completely disregarding quality. Physical stores have renting costs. How can they compete with online stores? Every day I watch this across the street, see others close down, and look at my own deserted store. It's truly heartbreaking. A middle-aged couple has both lost their jobs. A family of 4 has a mortgage in Shenzhen and 2 sons. How will we survive? Last year, my husband and I were suddenly laid off from the company where we had worked for over 10 years, instantly losing all our income. Although the companies readily offered N+3 severance pay, in Shenzhen, where money seems to disappear in your sleep, the severance pay won't last long. Therefore, finding work became our top priority. However, we're both over 40, and having left foreign companies where we'd worked for over a decade, finding work isn't easy. My husband is a typical IT guy, not good talking and doesn't have any other skills. This industry is also youth-oriented, so he hasn't been able to find a job. The blogger said her husband once considered starting his own business, but due to a lack of skills and social experience, this idea was clearly unrealistic. Later, her husband intermittently took on some projects, gradually earning some income. He also delivered food in his spare time. After a period of trial and error, he finally felt that finding a stable job was more reliable. She stated, "While we can't predict the future, there's no need to be overly anxious. Work hard when you can earn money. When you can't, take care of yourself and your health. Perhaps this is the right mindset to face life."
餐饮圈有句话叫神仙难熬3、4月。
After the Lunar New Year, every business has experienced a precipitous decline. Whether it's dine-in or takeout, revenue has basically been cut in half, sometimes even drastically. What used to sell for $400 now only sells for $150. What used to sell for $140 now only $70. Don't doubt it, don't be anxious. Almost every business is like this. I've been in the restaurant industry for 10 years, and March and April are typically a major off-season, but I never expected it to be this slow. Every morning I open my eyes and find several hundred yuan gone in rent, labor, and utilities. The worst part is that everything is getting more expensive now. Raw materials, even food containers. It's really putting immense pressure on us in the restaurant business. We're barely able to breathe. Have you noticed that after the Lunar New Year, many people suddenly lost their jobs, and finding work is harder than before? Since the Lunar New Year, it's no exaggeration to say that at least 5 or 6 friends have told me they can't continue working and are going to lose their jobs. The most outrageous thing is that one of my friends worked for a state-owned enterprise for many years. A few days ago, he suddenly told me he was preparing to look for a new job. His company hadn't paid him for 6 months, and his credit card was practically maxed out. To support his family, he had no choice but to quit what outsiders considered a secure, stable job. To be honest, we didn't feel that much when we saw others lose their jobs before, but now I'm really starting to get scared. In terms of this year's business, has everyone felt it's been incredibly difficult? At my first live streaming event this spring, sales for the whole day were less than an hour's worth in the previous time. It's truly been so tough. I don't know about everyone else's situation. Many peers have come to talk, and they all say they're either not making money or losing money. But one friend said that even if he's losing money, he's already outperformed 85% of people. It's really true. Especially for traditional industries like the shoe industry in Wenzhou. Many factories have no orders right now. March and April are usually the off-season for shoe factories, and many factories haven't even reopened yet.
来到深圳的第11天
On my 11th day in Shenzhen, I still haven't found a job. I haven't stopped since the first day I arrived, attending job fairs, submitting resumes, rushing to interviews. I haven't dared to stop for a moment. I remember every single one of those 3 job fairs. The first job interview was for an overseas sales position. The HR said I was a perfect match because of my master's degree and good English, but the base salary was only $580, so I had to decisively decline. From the initial excitement of arriving in Shenzhen to the increasing frustration of my job search, it's something only those currently looking for a job will truly understand, the feelings of being full of hope, only to be disappointed time and time again.
今年的生意差到什么程度？
How bad is business this year? Last night, I went to dinner with some good friends who used to work in the furniture and building materials industry. We went to an old local shop in Lanzhou that's been open for over 10 years. The courtyard is particularly big, and it used to be so crowded that there was always a queue. On a Friday night, the whole courtyard was empty except for a table of 5. The owner probably only made about $80 that night. Friday, huh? What did Friday mean back then? It meant dinner with colleagues, drinks with friends, that was a given. Now, sitting in that empty courtyard, honestly, it felt really bad.
我今年已经27岁了。
I'm 27 years old this year, unemployed for 5 months. I've been looking for work in Shenzhen for a month now. I suddenly realized that at my age, you can't compete with younger people in terms of skills. I want to change careers, but I have no industry experience. I'm in a very awkward situation.
处于一个非常尴尬的状态。
84年了，深圳买了房。
I was born in 1984 and bought a condo in Shenzhen. I come from a rural area and went to an ordinary university. I didn't have any background or connections. Through years of overtime work plus the support of my parents and wife, I bought this condo in Shenzhen at the peak in 2019. I remember we even had a celebration banquet back home. Everyone said I was bringing honor to the family. At that time, I really thought I was doing well. Now, thinking back, from the moment I bought the condo, I was already in a middle-aged, impoverished tramp.
买房的一个期，就重点分配。
The blogger said that the $1,400 monthly mortgage payment put so much pressure on him that he almost dares not spend money. As soon as his salary arrives, he has to go straight to paying off the mortgage. He usually wears $7 short-sleeve shirts and is very frugal, always thinking about paying off the mortgage as soon as possible so that life can be easier. Unexpectedly, before the loan was fully repaid, housing prices plummeted, leading him to a significant sense of disappointment. To make matters worse, in middle age, he was laid off. Without a stable income, yet unable to afford even a single day of late mortgage payments, he anxiously calculated his savings while frantically searching for new work. He couldn't help but lament that while working in a big city may seem glamorous, it carries immense pressure. Life is never easy. If it were you, let me tell you, imagine you're selling clothes and someone comes into your store and tries on so many clothes. You've been busy for an hour or two, your food is getting cold for no time to eat them, and in the end, they don't buy a single item and just casually say, "I'll think about it." I don't believe you wouldn't be angry. It's true, as you get older, your body can't bear anger anymore. It makes me so angry I can't even eat.
现在最惨的人
The most miserable people nowadays aren't bricklayers or screwdrivers. Who are they? They're the small business owners struggling to make ends meet. Their small shops being relentlessly exploited by life. Workers at least hope for a weekend or at least a single day off, but these small business owners work 365 days a year, 365 days a year, without a break. Since becoming bosses, they're busy all year round, no time for shopping, no time for parties, no time for playing cards, no time for travel. If they don't open, they won't feel at ease. If they do open, they feel like they're going to die. Are you poor? At least you have a shop. Are you rich? You're penniless. Are you lazy? You're busy from morning till night. Are you hardworking? You don't earn any money all year.
在深圳失业
It's been 71 days since I was unemployed in Shenzhen. I was laid off before the Lunar New Year and have been lying flat in my rented room, living a rat's lifestyle. My days and nights are completely reversed. I sleep until 1 or 2 p.m. every day, sometimes only eating 1 meal a day. I feel even more rotten than when I was working. Some people say I'm lucky because I get severance pay every time I'm laid off, but I feel helpless. I've worked for 6 years and it seems like I'm always in a vicious cycle of looking for work, going to work, getting tired of work, and finally becoming unemployed again.
很多老妇人都反映了一个问题。
Many veteran clothing store owners have reported a problem. The market should be recovering after the Chinese New Year, but their stores are practically empty. Why are veterans of the clothing industry, some with 1 or 2 decades of experience, saying they can't understand this year and are at a loss? They have decent merchandise, their styles are up to date, and they have thousands of loyal customers on WeChat, yet they're still not making any sales. Today's customers know more about products than you do. They can search for the same items right in front of you. You're not facing your neighbor, but the overwhelming competition from millions of live streaming platforms nationwide. I know this year is extremely difficult, but the more difficult it is, the more you need to stay clear-headed. Stop complaining about the environment because the environment is the same for everyone. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.